This weekend's new moon, December 8th, marks the first day of the 9th biblical month, Kislev. Kislev is the month of Hanukkah, an 8-day festival commemorating the Jewish recapture of the Second Temple from the armies of King Antiochus IV. It was on Kislev 24 that the Syrian forces were defeated and the temple liberated, which is why Hanukkah is celebrated beginning at sundown on the 24th. In addition to being the month in which the Jews reclaimed the temple, Kislev is associated with events and declarations related to Israel's reclaiming of the Holy Land, specifically, Jerusalem. Kislev 24, 1917, British forces led by General Allenby liberate Jerusalem from centuries of Muslim, Ottoman rule. Kislev 26, 1917, General Allenby makes his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. Kislev 16, 1947, the UN votes in favor of the creation of an independent Jewish state in the land of Israel. Kislev 28, 1947, the British government publicly declares that they will relinquish control of the land of Israel to the Jewish people at midnight on May 14, 1948. Kislev 19, 2017, Donald Trump publicly declares Jerusalem to be Israel's capital, making him the first U.S. president, and the first foreign leader in modern history, to officially recognize the Holy City as the capital of the State of Israel. The first thing we note above is that the liberation of Jerusalem from the Muslims occurred on the same date as the liberation of the Second Temple from the Syrians, Kislev 24, Hanukkah Eve. This is fascinating because this very date, Kislev 24, is mentioned 4 times in Haggai chapter 2, where it's emphasized that from this day forward I will bless you. One has to read the whole chapter to get the context, but the basic message is that the Lord will shake the heavens and the earth and all nations, overthrowing their power, after which he will anoint the chosen one of the line of David, symbolized in that day by Zerubbabel, and essentially make Jerusalem the new world capital. God pays attention to times and dates, especially those pertaining to his prophetic timepiece, Jerusalem. With this in mind, we also note that the initial and crowning events related to Jerusalem's restoration in 1917 and 2017 are separated by a time span of 100 years, precisely in the middle of which occurred the landmark recapture of East Jerusalem by Israeli forces in 1967. Thus, we have 3 principal events related to the restoration of Jerusalem occurring at a 50-year interval, and 2 of them occurring in the month of Kislev. But there's more. Overlaying the 50-year time spans is a significant 70-year time span, from the British declaration on Kislev 28, 1947, to Trump's declaration on Kislev 19, 2017, is 70 years. Those versed in biblical numerology, not the same as pagan numerology, understand that the numbers 70 and 50 denote redemption and/or a prophetic culmination. The Jews were redeemed from captivity in Babylon after 70 years, Jeremiah 29:10. God's plan of redemption for Israel is comprised of 70 weeks, Daniel 9:24-27. A typical human lifespan is 70 years, and Jesus says the generation who sees Israel reborn will also see his return, Psalms 90:10, Samuel 5:4, Matt 24:34. The number 50, connected to the Jubilee, denotes redemption and a return to one's ancestral home. The fact that Kislev is associated with the numbers 50 and 70 via the aforementioned liberation dates of the Temple and Jerusalem, the 2 physical elements linked to Israel's redemption and Messiah's coming in Daniel's week's prophecy, makes the 9th month an apt time for some culminating prophetic event to occur. Could the church age end in Kislev? Considering the possibility, it's interesting that Jesus says he is coming for his bride at an hour we think not. Matt 24:44. Most who think about a specific time for the rapture regard the spring and fall festivals the likeliest time, making the winter month of Kislev a time we think not. It's also worth noting that it was during the month of Kislev that the Lord called for a harvest of souls. You have a saying, 4 more months and then the harvest. But I tell you, take a good look at the fields, the crops are now ripe and ready to be harvested. A once-in-history convergence of signs and timelines suggests that the church field is ripe for harvest. Jesus can return at any time. So keep watch. Please see notes and supporting documentation in the description box. Commentary by T.W. Tramm. Kislev 24 is December 31st, January 1st. The Midnight Hour. Watch.